Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you. Good morning. It's Monday. OMG, it's like the end of the year. How did we get here? It's December 30th. It's good to see you guys. How was your weekend? I'd love to know how your weekend was. Did anybody do like any after Christmas shopping? I went to the mall. It was like day and night from before Christmas till after Christmas. I was like, holy cats. It was just actually quite low key and kind of felt a little like, oh, but that's okay. Off we go into January. We're good. We're good. So today I wanted to talk to you specifically about the progression of insulin resistance, how you can know like if that's a part of your life right now. Because if you can identify this one thing, you guys, if you can identify this one thing in your life, your next year, 2025, completely different. I'm just telling you, like your best friend. If you can identify whether or not you are insulin resistant, maybe you already know you are, and if you can change the lens that you view everything through, you can lose weight in 2025. I was just on a Zoom Friday with a customer who is wanting information on business, and we were talking about that, and she's lost 24 pounds this year, and she's 64. So did you think it was too late to change the lens of how you're viewing weight loss, to change it from counting points, to change it from a prepackaged $1,200 a month program, to change it from fasting your little took us off, or ellipticaling your little took us off, or whatever? I don't know. Like, are you ready to like change your mindset just a tiny bit? What if you tweaked it just a tiny bit? Oh my gosh. Welcome you guys on TikTok. You guys are amazing. I'm going to make that like whatever. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Jump on in from the gallery. And if you guys would be so lovely and do a lot of tapping on the screen today and pushing it out to the algorithm, that would just be so awesome. Every day we come here at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm in Minnesota, and if you have no idea who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I turned back around my own insulin resistance in my upper 40s. But guess what? And this is a part of what we're going to talk about today. I didn't know I was, how do I say this? That terminology was not being used like ever. So I didn't really understand for over 25 years. Did you have any idea that it could be like 10, 20, 30 years before you even understand that you are insulin resistant? And it has been potentially the brick wall in front of you that has kept you from losing weight, or you keep on packing on pounds, especially in your belly area. Did you have any idea that that's true? Like, it's frustrating. And so we're going to get into that today. Because I really want you to, if you can crack this code, I'm just telling you, like, allow your mind to understand what's going on. Good morning, Carol. Happy Monday. Good to see you. Man, we're kind of transitioning. I know this is like that last week of the year where everybody's kind of like, we're still kind of maybe secretly scrolling a little more than usual. We're kind of like still having that hankering to go shopping. I did go to Hobby Lobby the day after Christmas. It was wonderful. I got a few things I do in-person product like expo events during Christmas, and it's so much fun. So I was able to get a few decorations for that. That was really fun. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Good to see you. So anyway, yeah, we got stuff going on. Anyway, so jump on in, and staying up too late. I know, you guys, no lie, Carol. All right. I think that I would be a night owl if I could be, but I'm responsible. So I choose to not be too much of a night owl. But on Friday night, I actually did. It was kind of like I allowed myself to just do the things that I wanted to do until 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, 3 a.m. And it did not mess up my sleep. I was really, really happy about that. I knew that I did not have to set an alarm or do anything. So Saturday morning, I slept in. Here's some girl talk for you. I slept in until like 11. So I had my full 8 hours. Is that not crazy? I don't think I've done that for like, I don't even know how long, but I allowed myself to completely sleep in and be fully rested. And then I got up and got ready and I went and got my hair done. It was like just a me day. And then I went to the mall and did a little bit of walking around, and it was wonderful. I hope you guys are taking really good rest days too, because we talk about rest a lot on here. And if you need, thank you for the roses, Melissa. Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. We've been talking a lot about sleep protocol and about how the longevity expert that came in and spoke to us, I'm going to use some of his information in the 5-day reset that I posted up on here on TikTok. I'm going to use that in the January 6th reset, 5-day reset that we're going to do. And basically, he talked about how he's taking a certain list of the supplements. Okay, you guys, we all talk about the turmeric that I have and the ashwagandha, the magnesium that's launching. If you need the magnesium, if you want to be on that VIP list, it's go to KirstenLiebelt.com and just one little swipe, and there's a little form. Put your name and your email there, and you'll be the first to know when it launches in March. I mean, this is amazing. It's such a good magnesium. So he's been using that magnesium. He's taking 2 magnesium, 2 ashwagandha, 2 turmeric, and a vitamin C, and he's going to bed. And he said, if you want to sleep like a 12-year-old. So I've been practicing that. I'm telling you, it's leveling up my sleep another level. And I'm like, what? Because I was splitting up my turmeric and I was splitting up my ashwagandha. Not anymore. Anyway, if you have questions, you can always ask me about that. I don't mean to get off on a side tangent. So there is a progression of insulin resistance. And a lot of people listen, if you have never seen my content before, if you have never delved into the idea that you could be insulin resistant and it could be the sole purpose why you can't budge a pound, then I want to be your friend and tell you that there's this progression that you can pay attention to, and you can become your own advocate. Exiting or avoiding the matrix has always been a very major goal of mine. I don't know if that's a major goal of yours, but it has been a major one of mine. Not interested. Ever since 1995, July 13th, 1995, no, July 14th. My sister's birthday's on the 13th. July 14th, 1995 is the day that my dad died. And the morning after, July 15th, is when I went into my mom's home. We were home on vacation. I live in Minnesota. We were living in the Black Hills of South Dakota for 8 years. We were home. It was the week that he died. It correlated. He was not in the hospital or anything like that. His heart was just done. So he's type 2 diabetic, has had all the heart procedures, quadruple bypass surgery, pacemaker. He's on dialysis. He's been for 2 years, throwing up, function of life just tanking. Saturday morning, I wake up and my mom is weeping in the kitchen, and she's frustrated with herself that she spent so much time bugging my dad about all of his freaking medication. John, it's such a mess. You just have so much mess. You have can't you just be more organized? Kind of bugging him. And he had a lazy Susan full of medication that went from the counter to the kitchen table. And he would sit at the kitchen table and he would take his meds and he would shoot himself with insulin. And then because he was a business owner with a traditional business, brick and mortar, he didn't have to go to work because he had employees. So he would sit at the kitchen table until about noon every single day. And he would be on the phone with his employees. Did this shipment come in? Blah, blah, blah. What are we doing about blah, 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 whatever, make any sales, that kind of stuff. Because he wasn't safe to drive. Because all of the medications were conflicting with each other. So there was this moment in time for me where I went, something's wrong with this picture. But then I tucked it. I tucked it in the back of my mind because I didn't have any answers. I didn't have any clue. I didn't know any terminology. I literally knew nothing. And so I was 30 when that happened. I had already been gestational diabetic with my first baby. 7 years prior, 6 years prior. And I did nothing. Spent my 30s buying 50-pound bags of white flour, splitting them with a girlfriend, homeschooling our kids, eating white sugar like it's going out of style, and literally living sweet, salty, sweet, salty, sweet, salty. Take a nap on the living room floor. Sweet, salty, sweet, salty. Take a nap on the living room floor. That was my life for a very long time. And then I hit my 40s and my mom said, Kirsten, like literally, what the heck? And this is all going to tie into this progression of insulin resistance, because had I known to look for what I'm going to talk to you about, I would have seen the signs. I would have known, I would have understood, but nobody was using this terminology. So you should just be thankful that we have the internet today, where you can just, you fly by somebody's content and you're like, what'd they say? What'd they say? And at the tip of your fingers, thank you for all the hearts. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. And basically, you can have at the tip of your fingers at any moment in time a connection, a resonating with another person. Oh, that's me. That's my story too. Meaning I didn't know for all those years, all those symptoms. But then finally, when I did do something about it, I avoided the matrix like the freaking plague. And there's a reason for that. Part of it is because I didn't want to know, and part of it is because I already saw my dad do it. Well, if it didn't work for him, why is that going to work for me? And that was kind of the beginning of me going, I'm going to do stuff differently. Now, at the time, I didn't really have any understanding of like this could be completely reversible. I didn't understand that I could, have a completely different like path, a different like progression of success in my life. I had no idea that that's what was keeping me fat. I didn't know that that's what was making me crave sugars and carbs all the time. I didn't know that that's why I was so exhausted and I had brain fog and I didn't know any of that stuff. But I did know that I had enough fear placed in me by my mama, God bless her, that I went, oh, my dad's sores don't heal. On his legs, they don't heal. He goes to dialysis and then he throws up. And those were the things that I was like, I should probably do something. So, even still, I didn't take it all too seriously because I wasn't willing to trade out my foods right away. But this is how I know I can help you compress time. So I get excited about that. If you've never noticed, have a customer who, she lost 24 pounds in the last 8 months. And was she 24 pounds? Nope, 40 pounds in the last 8 months. And she's 62 years old. Was on the phone with somebody on Friday, like I just said at the beginning of this, 64 years old. And she lost 25 pounds in the month or in the year of 2024. So what do you want your 2025 to be? Change your lens. Change the way you're viewing weight loss. Get your sugars down. Get your insulin down. How do you know you're insulin resistant? Let's get into it. Carol, your daughter's at night also when she's there, you hang with her just because I know. And you know what? We don't want to miss out on that. We don't. I just am like, I don't know. There's something about in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. There's a song, right? It's quiet. The world kind of slows down and you can kind of feel it. And so I sat and I was doing some work on my phone, but I was watching The Holiday, which is, not the cleanest, but I like the storyline. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's Kate Winslet and Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, anyway, blah, blah, blah. But it's a sweet story. So anyway, so the silent progression of insulin resistance, did you know that you can be 10 years, 20 years plus with insulin resistance and never know it? And had you known it all of those years ago, you could have had a completely different path. You could have had a different progression. Maybe you wouldn't have been so mad about your weight all the time. But there's a test that they don't do, and it's called a fasting insulin test. They don't do it very often, and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. This is why, for me, the matrix was not going to be my answer. So I did targeted supplementation, and then I switched out my foods. And those are the two things that I teach. We have a free 5-day reset. It's our 20th one coming up next Monday. I'm so excited about that. And Get in the community, get in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Get in there. You can get in there through KirstenLiebelt.com. There's a button right at the top says join my community. Get in there. And then we'll do the 5-day reset, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, starting January 6th. And you'll learn in depth pieces of things that you hear me talk about online. And then we'll do ingredient trade outs, and we'll do pantry and fridge reveal, and we'll do all the fun stuff, recipe and stuff. So the silent progression, if you ever wonder, why you're lacking a lot of energy, if you're wondering why your weight is out of control, it just keeps rising, or you just can't budge a pound, you just can't quite crack that code, this is definitely symptoms of insulin resistance. And also to the belly fat, very specifically the belly fat. And that can be also high cortisol, but it's all hormonal. So the whole conversation is hormones anyway. Insulin is a hormone, cortisol is a hormone. It's all connected. But it develops very quietly over years. You do not wake up and you're type 2. You feel that way. I hear you in my inbox. What the heck? I was fine last year, and now they told me I'm pre-diabetic. What is going on? I hear you. You're in my inbox telling me this, and I get it. And how frustrating is that? It's like, what? Like you had no signs, Matrix? Yes, but they weren't pulling the test. That's very frustrating. So signs in your everyday life that could very easily get overlooked. So let me give you some really practical examples of what this might look like on any given day. After you eat, you're craving carbs and sugar. So who are you? That's been me for and some of it's habit for us, right? Well, I want something sweet after dinner. But maybe you're actually craving it. You can feel the craving. Is that you? That could be a symptom of insulin resistance. How about feeling hangry between meals? Like you are hangry. Like feed me now. It's because there's this blood sugar dysregulation that's going on. And so what goes up must come down, right? And so it's crash. And you're like, your body is saying, help me now. Help me now. And in doing that, basically you're getting that feeling of hangriness. That's what that is. Help me now. I need fast energy. Okay, that's hangry. Then, what if you are needing caffeine or sugar to wake up throughout the day? I mean, don't we just feel like that's just normal life? Does anybody think that I feel like in our coffee culture, our energy drink culture, and just our candy culture, we think this is normal, and we haven't paused long enough to go, oh, you know what? I suppose we're not supposed to be drinking coffee all day long. And I love coffee. I drink coffee. I don't drink it every day just because I'm whatever. It's not my thing. It's fine. But I used to. And in fact, I used to drink about a pot a day with International Delight Creamer, hazelnut, preferably peppermint or eggnog at Christmas time. And I have a friend who became my friend. And within 3 months, she gained 10 pounds of being my friend. That was in my 30s because I just drank coffee creamer all day long. I would make the strongest coffee that I could make, like dark roast, and have a pot sitting in my kitchen all day long. And I would have my International Delight Creamer, and I just literally drank sugar all day long. It's terrible. It was terrible. I can't imagine why I was so insulin resistant. Oh my gosh. Confessions of a homeschooling mom. Maybe that should be my podcast. By the way, if you didn't know, I do have a podcast that I did for 2 years on homeschooling. If you know anybody that needs that, it's called Addicted to Brave. And it's me interviewing veteran homeschool moms. And the reason why that's so important is because I, as one person, don't have all the answers, but I can interview other people who have really good answers. That's what I know. So if you ever need that. Side note. So needing caffeine or sugar to wake up, weight gain, especially around your belly, and it won't budge no matter what you do. I have a lot of you that reach out to me and you're like, listen, I've been keto And I can't get it to budge. I eat clean, I eat healthy, I do all the whatever it is. And you just can't budge 1 pound. Like I have a customer who she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when she had a stroke. Her A1C was 13. I know I can hear the collective gasp. So she gets it down with her doctor to 6.9, I believe. Over a course of 3 years, she gets it down. Cannot lose 1 freaking pound. And she's so frustrated. So frustrated. So she started on the trio that I talk about, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I always have them by me so I can show you. These 3 supplements she starts with, right? Starts with these. And in 2.5 months, her morning sugars drop another 30 points. And she drops 14 pounds. Because when your sugars and your insulin are high, you can't lose weight. So her A1C was coming down, but not her daily sugars. And she was even on berberine and inositol, 2 different supplements that are very common, but they're not this. These do not have berberine or inositol in them. I'm not saying those are bad. I'm just saying this is a different thought process. This is giving your body the raw materials that it needs and working on you at a cellular level. Cellular level. Okay, anyway. Sounds so familiar, full of sugar and seed oils. Now we know. Oh my gosh. The seed oils, out of control. No cream whatsoever. No, Donna, there was no cream in the International Delight Creamers. No. And it's like, it's not even just seed oils. It's partially hydrogenated. Like, so bad, like OMG bad. And I look at that and I just shake my head no. But anyway, it's okay. When you know better, you do better. And I remember some of the stuff being taught on the Oprah show, whenever, I guess it must have been during that time, must have been during from 2000 to 2010, somewhere in there. And I remember her talking about partially hydrogenated oils and all of the different things. I remember thinking, I should probably stop drinking this creamer. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, that you like convicted me about that, because I needed to stop doing that. Good morning, Tammy. Good to see you. Magda, trying to wean myself off of black coffee by adding extra water to my cup, so I'm slowly diluting the coffee. Wow, you are brave, Magda. You are brave. Well, good for you. You know, Maria Emmerich actually says she's against coffee because coffee is a bean and it's actually very moldy. So she teaches her community not to drink coffee at all. And I haven't been, that strict with myself. Maybe if I was more strict, I would go faster with certain goals. But I do feel like I'm really happy with the strides that I've made. I've lost, if you guys don't know, I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s. And I'll be 60 now next month. So I entered my 50s. You should, where do I have pictures of myself? Because I changed up the way that my profile picture is on my website. I have to think about that. I have to think if it's in my on my website. So my website is myfirstlastname.com, KirstenLiebelt.com. Hold on. It's what I was working on until 3 a.m. Watching a holiday. Because that was fun to me. All right, so hold on. I'm just going to see. I don't know that I have. I might need to change that so that you guys can see before and after pictures. Really important. They're on my story right now. I put some on last night. You could go look at my before and after pictures. Yep, I'm going to have to change that. I'm going to have to get some before and afters on there. But going into my 50s, I was like, and I was not feeling good. I was like, the fat pockets were collecting on my body and I was exhausted. I was just a hot mess express. And now leaving my 50s, a completely different understanding. I changed my lens. I changed the way that I view weight loss and how to keep my body functioning and how to stay away from the matrix as much as possible. Anyway, all right. So I will have to fix that. But let's go back to the pieces here. Okay, so symptoms Feeling hangry between meals. Okay, the weight gain. And then the last one is feeling sluggish or foggy, especially after eating. So you eat and you're just like the air gets taken out of your balloon, so to speak. That is a big one. And it's all very connected to blood sugar dysregulation. That's what we're talking about. Okay. And you're not even knowing it. You're not even thinking about it because you're going to get your annual physical maybe, and you're getting your A1C checked and they're saying, girlfriend, your labs look amazing. You're looking good. And you don't realize that you are insulin hormone resistant in your cell. This is a cellular conversation. You don't realize that you're insulin resistant and your energy is not getting into your cell. Insulin is a hormone and it's a delivery truck. It's a big honking U-Haul, and it's going to pick up all of the sugar that your food is creating, and it's trying to shuttle it into your cell. And when it can't do that, when your cell is resistant, cellular conversation about the hormone insulin trying to get glucose into your cell for energy, you're exhausted and you have no idea. You think, I'm just getting older. You think, dang, these hormones suck. Menopause is stinky. I can't sleep at night. Oh, it must just be menopause. I'm so tired during the day. I need a nap now because I'm not sleeping at night. And oh God, I do have a little bit of anxiety going. A little bit of anxiety, kind of a little bit of depression. This must just be menopause. Well, yes, but insulin is a hormone and it domino affects all the other hormones. And did you know, I posted this yesterday in my Instagram story. Let me see if I can find it here. I don't think I can do it right now because I'm on live. In my story, I forget. I'm going to just say it, and I'm just going to hope I'm close. 30% of people who are type 2 have depression. No, anxiety. It was anxiety. Because there's a dysregulation going on. So if you can re-regulate then at a cellular level, just think about how that rewires the way that your body is functioning in general. Okay, so there's a really big connection there, okay? I just wanted you to know that. Hold on. Oh, I thought I missed something. I'm good. What should your daily sugars be? So do you take your sugars? Sherry, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Teraldi. I love you guys. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Do you know what your sugars are? I would love to know. Hold on. All right, so let's get back to your symptoms and why this can be so dang frustrating. Hold on. P.S. Thank you for the follow. You're amazing. I love that. I appreciate you guys so much on TikTok, because the truth is that if you don't follow people when you see them, you'll lose them. And like a year later, they show up and you're like, oh, I wondered what happened to that person. It's just the way that it is. It's just the way that it is. Okay, so let's get back to, man, this thing is not doing what I want to do. We're good. So just think about the fact that if you have diabetes and you have anxiety, think about how frustrating that is. That here you are not understanding that there is a connection to the exacerbation of menopause symptoms or the heightened anxiety that you are now feeling. I remember that feeling of anxiety in my 40s, and I just attributed it to perimenopause, which, yes, I understand, like there's this connection going on, but I thought that was solely the answer. So anyway, okay, I just want to make sure I'm not missing. So if somebody does say, because she was asking about sugar ranges and what are good sugar ranges. So let me give you some basics on that, just so that you know. If you are fasting blood sugar before eating, normal is 70 to 99, okay? Pre-diabetes is 100 to 125, and diabetes is 126 or higher. Okay. Post-eating, normal is less than 140. Pre-diabetes is 140 to 199, and then diabetes is 200 or over. Your A1C, which is a 3-month average, below, you want it to be below 5.7. Pre-diabetes is 5.7 to 6.4, and diabetes is 6.5 or higher. Optimal ranges for reversing insulin resistance, you want your fasting blood sugar to be 80 to 90. 80 to 90. And then post-meal blood sugar, you want below 120. Okay? So that kind of gives you a range of how to view that. But what I'm more, before you have issues with your blood sugars, before those abnormalities, before those abnormal blood sugars show up in your daily life or in your A1C, long before, you could have been insulin resistant and caught it. 10 years, 20 years prior. Because when you eat and your sugars go up, insulin is released from your pancreas, and this is your U-Haul truck. It goes and it grabs the sugar and brings it into your cell. Voila, you have energy and your body is functioning. When your cell says no more, this is when you have issues. This is when the insulin then gets produced even more. So it's higher. And it tries to take it and it can't. And it says, well, I'm a fat storing hormone. So let's get going. We're going to store fat. 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 And you are left wondering, what the heck is going on? Why does my fat keep appearing more and more and more? And I feel like I'm hitting a wall and I cannot budge 1 pound. So that's why having a different blueprint to transform your insulin resistance, man, it'll change your entire 2025. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That's what can happen. Good morning, Claudette. Good to see you. Yeah, sunny Florida. You should see how gray it is right now, Claudette. Gray and foggy. I can barely see the buildings. Stop, you sweetie pie. Sitting down there in Florida, enjoying your life. I love that. I really do. I am happy for you, Claudette. I am, but I'm jelly. I'm so jelly. All right. So let's go back here really quickly to just so that you can have really practical, actionable steps. Okay. So insulin resistance often begins 10 to 20 years before a diagnosis like diabetes. Many people have subtle symptoms as early as in their 20s or 30s. That was me, but don't connect them to their future health. Cravings, energy dips, unexplained weight gain, mild blood sugar spikes with fasting. You could have fasting insulin tests done. You could check, like if you do have, so a lot of people now are doing continuous glucose monitors. I think that's brilliant. I've never had one, but I feel like the more that you become your own assessor, the more that you get to own your own health. And so if you can get your hands on a CGM, I think you can buy them, but then they're expensive if you don't get a prescription for them, but it might be worth it, right? Like if you don't learn how to invest in yourself, if you haven't caught on yet, everything they give you that's free doesn't fix you. So in my opinion, free doesn't fix. Prove me wrong. And so if you get a, I want them to cover this and I want them to cover this. And they're not going to. They're not going to. It's called an agenda. That was my biggest wake-up call for my dad when I saw the Lazy Susan. And then years later, I started to assess, why was he on all this med and it didn't heal him? Oopsie. Didn't heal him or fix him. It was never going to. It wasn't designed to. It was designed just to keep him sick. So you can make small diet changes. You can use supplementation. there are things that you can do that are so much easier than you thought, but nobody's maybe ever told you. So for me, being Italian, changing up my food, I thought was going to be the hardest thing that I ever did in my entire lifetime. And in the end, what I found out was that wasn't true. It wasn't the hardest thing that I ever did. And that's why I get excited about teaching it. So next Monday, January 6th, Monday through Friday, I'll go live at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time in the group. And it's right up here. You can go to KirstenLiebelt.com and the Facebook community is right there. It's on a blue button. And you can get in there and it's free. And we will go through like ingredient trade outs and pantry and fridge and all that good stuff. And we'll talk about, we'll do a recipe and all the fun things. And it's very, very beneficial for you to get like a visual as to how this can look and how this can change. So having a different blueprint for your own transformation in 2025 can look super simple, super streamlined. I use targeted supplementation. I talk about the trio all the time. So what I did over the weekend was I have a list of trio testimonials and they're on a Google sheet. And so I thought, I'm just going to post that Google sheet on my site. So if you go to KirstenLiebelt.com, you'll see trio testimonials. Get your hopes up. Stop thinking that this is so mountainous. I understand that that's what you've been led to believe. But don't you understand that everything is coming from this? I'm not a doctor, but in my own research and in my own understanding, which I'm sure is limited, right? But the point being that everything else comes from this. What are some of the diagnoses that comes from insulin resistance having been not dealt with for 10 to 20 years? Let me tell you. Hold on. I'm going to just tell you legitimately. Type 2, PCOS, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, cardiovascular disease with high blood pressure, cholesterol, and dementia. That's the fallout. So how hard is it to learn how to trade out your food ingredients? It's not. You still get to be a foodie, just like me, right? So if you go to, and I've been saying it for a long time because all of my testimonies for the trio, the 3 supplements, they've been at the top of my Instagram page. They still are in a pink highlight bubble. This is what they look like. 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It's going to address your liver. It's going to address your insulin, your sugars, your visceral fat. This is what this is addressing. A lot of people don't want to go to Instagram, so I totally get that. That's no big deal. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to take my Google sheet and I'm going to post it. So just get your hopes up. Understand that there's a different blueprint that you can take to shift the way that your body is functioning so you can get different results. So the trio, and then yes, I do talk about other things. Like I talk about, maybe even adding to the trio a little bit better would be the gut reset protocol. I talk to you guys about that all the time. This with a probiotic. I don't have my probiotic. I ate it. I took it. I have a pixie stick of a probiotic. So maybe you want to add the gut reset because OMG, this is a primer, not a greens. It's amazing. The testimonies, go look under that one. Go look under the button that says trio plus gut reset protocol. There's a picture of I put the picture of my daughter there before and after. She took it at the end of a day when she had been eating really badly that weekend. She's 33 now. She had been eating really poorly and she looked like she was pregnant again. And then she woke up the next morning, could not believe it, took another picture. You go look at that picture. So that's the trio plus the gut reset protocol. And then there's one last button on there that says the trio, the gut reset protocol, and the thermogenic. This is the orange pixie stick that I talk about. Do this for 90 days on and it will begin to eat the fat. That's the way that I feel like it is. It eats the fat around your waist and around your hips. It's very targeted. It's a clinical dose of an extract and go 90 days on. And then right now I'm on my 30 days off. And I'm going to tell you, I don't like it. I don't like waiting. I'm very impatient. Tastes like candy. It's amazing. but it really does work. Like it actually works. So anyway, but you can look up the testimonies. Just go look at the one button that says Trio Testimonials. And then you'll understand why I say, listen, grab what you need to grab, get into the group. Let's do a different blueprint of transformation for 2025. I'll see you on January 6th. I mean, I'll see you in between, but January 6th, next Monday, by the time everybody else has given up on their New Year's resolutions, you're just starting. You're just starting. And then you get to be one of the testimonies from last year. I have so many testimonies. I have so many testimonies that of people that did this challenge last January and they stuck with this thought process and they've lost 24 pounds, 40 pounds. One was 20, it was either 22 or 25 pounds. What? When you can't budge 1 pound and you're in this age range, because we're not all 30, that's a lot of weight because we thought it wasn't possible anymore. So the sizes that we thought were out of reach, possibly forever, you can reclaim them in 2025. You can. This is a blueprint, super simple concept. And I'll walk the journey with you. You hear me, Carol? I'm on my off time from the pixie stick. Are you? I don't like it at all, Carol. I don't know. And also too, I know me. So let's talk holidays for just a half a second. I definitely allow myself flex in the holidays. Now I know it looks different than you guys, but you have to understand I've been doing this for a while. So I don't go off plan, but I go off, how do I say this? I go off of my narrow thought process where I can really, because you can stall your weight and be frustrated. You can gain a few pounds and be frustrated. But it's always more fun when you're losing, right? It's more fun when you're changing sizes and you're going down. So I just kind of, maybe I set myself up a little bit knowing that I'm going to give myself permissions that might not serve me so well. So just the same as you guys, like this last weekend, I ate way too many nuts, but I totally allowed myself to just enjoy a weekend of, I sat on the couch and I actually had with my husband, we watched, we were just watching, we don't do this hardly ever. So it was such a treat. We sat and watched a show and we watched a few episodes. Last night we watched a few episodes of The Chosen. I don't know if anybody's seen that. That's a really good one. And we bought mixed nuts, and then I bought some chocolate chips. These were the Lily's ones. I did Lily's chips and nuts, and I just kind of ate them at the same time. That was my own little made up granola, right? And I ate way too many nuts because I will overeat nuts, and I know this about myself. So I do not buy mixed nuts and keep them in my house because I know I love mixed nuts. It's just my thing. So at the same time that I'm doing this, I'm off of the pixie stick. And I'm like, I mean, talk about like, brains, your mind is like, it's just it's a mental thing, Carol. It's mental. I'm not mental. I'm just saying it's a mental thing. It's a mind, it feels better when I'm on the pixie stick. Then I don't worry about it so much. But anyway, I know that sounds crazy, but listen, I go through the exact same things that you go through, where my mind just is like, yeah, see, there you go, gaining weight back. It's an icky voice, and you have to shut it down. Gotta shut it down. And that's, quote unquote, going off of just a more narrow plan. That's not even like, oh, I ate all of the whatever that I used to do. Because I remember, if you followed my content, it took me 3 to 4 years to get my holidays nailed down. It took me a while. And it's okay. That's why I teach no shame. It's a core value of mine. No shame. Walk your journey, do the best that you can. Grab the carb blocker, put it in your cart, have that with you. I know I'm not stupid. I know that Halloween started the candy season and it doesn't end until Easter. I wish that the celebrating was done after New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, but it's not. So now what do you have to do? Do you have to make a New Year's resolution and just white knuckle it and stick to it? Or would you rather have a blueprint that teaches you how to, let's do a 5-day reset. Let's teach you how to fish, grab a few nuggets, file them, take on the month of January. And then in February, we'll do another one. Learn a few nuggets, file them, take on the month of February. And then in March, we'll do another one. Another 5-day reset. Get a few more nuggets, file them, and then you add these months together like this. It's really called the compound effect. If you've ever read that book, it's a good book, The Compound Effect, where you are compounding little decisions every single day. They don't just add up like boom, 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 boom. They compound like interest on your money. That's how you get the results in 2025 that you wanted in 2024. But maybe because you had a different mindset at the beginning of the year, you shifted and you decided February 1st, maybe it was March 14th, maybe it was April 3rd that you were done. You were done because you maybe didn't have a good blueprint thought process so that you could be the person who said, holy crap, I lost 40 pounds in 2024 and I'm 62 years old. Oh my gosh, I lost 24 pounds last year. Somebody texted me and they said, I got back from my doctor's office and they have no, like I lost 22 pounds because chunk. And we're talking 64 years old, 62 years old, 58 years old. Okay. So change the lens. Insulin resistance, put on your insulin resistant glasses and go, insulin is a fat storing hormone. I'm going to learn how to get my body to function at a different level from the inside out. I'm going to one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time. Without shame, I'm going to fix my world. And you don't have to tell a single soul that you're doing it. And the reason why I say that is because you can't share your vision of the new you with this just anybody. You can't do that. You got to stop doing that. All the naysayers, all the, yeah, good luck to you. It's really worked well for you before. Or you're never going to lose that kind of weight in your 60s or whatever. Just don't even share stuff like that. Just don't even share stuff. Anyway. All right. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? I think I'm good. Want to make sure. Okay. And I feel like I want to see if there's anything that I did not share. So it's basically a cycle of insulin resistance, you guys, and getting a completely different blueprint of transformation can change everything for you. And this is something that could be happening 10 to 20 years before your sugars show up. So you may have been told your A1C is great. You may have been told that your sugars just are, which is the same thing, but you know, your fasting glucose is good. That you're fine. Your numbers, your labs, they're good. You're good to go. But you have brain fog. You are exhausted after you eat. You cannot contain those sugar cravings anymore. You're like, I know this is not all in my head. I know internally this is not about willpower. Or you in between eating, you're like, because you didn't realize that what you ate, that you were told that was healthy, it was keto friendly and it was a joke. You didn't realize it was spiking your sugars too much, calling on too much insulin, and then you crashed. And now you're hangry. You didn't even know that was a symptom. So let's catch all of this long before it shows up in your sugars. Now, don't get me wrong. If you go to KirstenLiebelt.com and you look at the trio testimonials, it's on one of the top buttons. You look in there, you're going to see sugars down. You're going to see that because that's a part of the puzzle. So there are a lot of people who are type 2 or they are checking their sugars and they do know. And they're watching that. and then they give me their data. God bless you. Thank you, because you're helping other people. When you give me your data, you're helping other people. Okay? But for those of you who you've been told you have, listen, your labs are looking good, honey, and you know that that's not right, you might just be insulin resistant and you don't even know it. So let's fix it. Let's do it. Let's do a 2025 blueprint transformation, completely different than what you did in 2024. We can do it. You agree, Kirsten? I'm your biggest cheerleader. Barb, good. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Kirsten, you have been such a blessing to me and everything and everyone here. Well, first, this one's Barb's. So hold on, I'll go backwards, Carol. Barb says, Carol, I agree. Kirsten, you are my biggest cheerleader in my corner. I'm so glad, Barb. I want to be your cheerleader. It's only because I have not forgotten. Because I still struggle with stuff, right? I still am overcoming all the time. Carol says, Kirsten, you have been such a blessing to me and everyone here in 2024. I am so excited. I love hearing this part. To head into 2025 with you and all these lovely ladies. Carol, man, I'm telling you, you guys are doing the do. You guys, I understand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind, but you're the one doing it for yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Don't shame yourself for the moments that you had that weren't perfect. Who cares? They're in the past. They're in 2024. Leave them behind. What you can accomplish in 2025, because you're stacking, remember? You're compounding your nuggets. So now you can go like this. Everything that you took in 2024, it can multiply now. So don't have bad expectations, have higher expectations. And just because one holiday season looked one way, remember, it took me 3 to 4. It took me about 3, and then the fourth one, I probably nailed it, is what I'm remembering to my best ability. So you're going from holiday season to holiday season. It's not one and done. And then if you screw it up, forget it. Like you're never going to be a winner. No, it takes time to rewrite the narratives in our head. And it takes time for us to recognize every food pusher and frustrating family member. It takes time for us to recognize those things and to properly maybe prepare us before we go into a holiday setting. And maybe we should talk about that. I mean, not here right now, but maybe we should talk about that. Like if you assess, maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow for New Year's Eve. We'll do a little bit of a year in review. Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. Think between now and then, any scenarios that you have from last year where it kind of hit you by surprise. You kind of were like, I thought I was stronger than that. Or I thought I had that one figured out. Or I thought that person didn't bother me anymore. Or I thought I wasn't that emotionally tied to that particular food, ingredient, recipe. Because you're assessing of those things, that is your win. Do you understand? Your win is not the number on the scale. That comes. Your win is not the size. That comes too. Your win is the fact that you actually assessed a scenario, a person, an emotional connection. That's your win. Because then you are like releasing it of its power. And now you get to rewrite it. I hope that makes sense. I hope there's somebody that needed to hear that today. There's somebody that needed to hear that. Your assessing of these scenarios for you is you're releasing the power it has over you. Because now you get to be a third-party person that redesigns that scenario, that interaction with the person, the longing of the food, whatever it is. And it doesn't happen overnight. So whoever told you that it had to happen overnight, they were wrong. So Barb says that she messed up over the weekend, but I see my numbers have been better because of the change with the trio, the gut. Oh, Barb, Yay! We're going to end on a testimony, you guys. Listen up. So she messed up over the weekend, but I see my numbers have been better because of the change with she's taking the Trio, the gut primer, and the Pixie stick. Thank you, thank you, thank you for charging with us. Yes. Makes me so excited. Do you understand? This isn't a gimmick or jazz hands. This is literally going, if you went to the mechanic and they told you that you needed a new filter, that you needed fresh oil, that you needed, maybe you need a new part, and I don't know my parts. So you need a new part. I don't know. I could make it up and it'll sound silly, but you needed a new part. You wouldn't go, you're just making that up. You're just trying to sell me a new filter. Well, maybe we do feel that way with a mechanic sometimes. If you don't have a good one, we always search for a good one. But I am telling you, your body needs to be working at a different level. Stop hitting the brick wall. Instead, go inside, get your engine going again. Go read the testimonies. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Please don't. Read the testimonies. Go to KirstenLiebelt.com, KirstenLiebelt.com. They're Trio testimonials. And then you can look for some. There's the picture of my daughter with the bloated belly, and that just happened 2 months ago. And then stories like this from Barb, just amazing. So anyway, all right, you guys good for today? I'll see you back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am thinking about moving this to 11 Central Standard Time starting next Monday. Does anybody have a thought on that? The reason why is because so many people, because it's just a feedback from you guys. So I would love to know, and just put something in the comments, and I will come back and read that to see. I'm thinking that would be great, Melissa says. So 1 hour later would be better, Melissa, for you. I would love to know these things from you guys. You're good with that, Carol says. Okay, good to know. Yep. I feel and have for a while that moving it 1 hour would benefit people because it will land in more people's lunch times than not. So that's just my thought process. All right. If you're on the replay, you can let me know on the replay as well. Okay. All right. Have such a blessed day, you guys. It's so good to hang with you. And Barb, thank you for sharing your testimony. You guys help people when you share your testimonies. You're helping people. So, all right. Okay, Barb agrees too. Have a wonderful day. And we'll be back tomorrow. Let's do a year in review. I want you to actually give yourself just a little bit of thought. Just think a little bit about your year in review and where you maybe were a little surprised and then how you moved through that. And then we're going to celebrate your wins.